Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Ruch Report with the man himself, Brendan Ruch. Brendan, how are you?
What up, Big Marv? I am good. I had a good day on the river, and now I'm sitting in a gas station parking lot. Life couldn't be any better.
Yeah, did you finish the other half of the chimichanga?
No, I discarded that for good reason.
Yeah, was it kind of one of those well-aged convenience store chimichangas kind of under the light?
It was an imaginary chimichanga just for the conversation.
Got it. So did the Easter Bunny bring anything good this time?
It brought some wacky weather today that ended up putting some good fish in the net. They like to eat when it's windy, apparently, today. So I can't complain about that. But some Reese's eggs, obviously. Don't tell me it's Reese's because it's Reese's. Some Zittner's eggs. I don't know if you've ever heard of those. Dark chocolate, coconut, some kind of cream, fire.
And like maybe some lavender peeps, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't touch the peeps. I feel bad, but I usually leave the peeps hanging there.
Well, there you go. You got any of those gourmet jelly beans?
I think my brother hides the jelly beans from me. I'm not sure. No jelly beans this year.
Well, there you go. And, we were talking before we started recording that the spawn is a little bit slower than you thought. You were saying that the fish haven't really started spawning yet in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I think on certain bodies of water, fish are on beds, particularly the water that's been low and clear and been heating up a little bit faster in some of the warmer weather we've had the last couple of weeks. But where I was today, I rode into some shallow spots to fish the outside, the seam, and the water's green, so I can't confirm. I'm sure there are some fish on beds somewhere, but definitely not mass spawning events right now where I was.
Yeah, very, very cool. And what else? You had a good day. Kind of what's been happening in the last 2 weeks?
Wind, good fish, and still swimming nut jobs. Hopefully people aren't tired of it yet, but fishing nut jobs on type 3 lines when it's high. Typically most of the ones I have now are 3/16 tungsten bead weighted. And then if the water starts to drop out, I had about a week fishing those flies on intermediate lines. And everything I've been fishing so far this year has been the SA Titan sink tip, whether it's intermediate or the type 3. Just mends a little bit easier than a full intermediate. And I do have my clients do a lot of like rod tip action that sometimes includes mending in the beginning. So very helpful there.
Yeah. So, if we drill into that a little bit deeper, because Rodrigo sent in a question, he wanted to get your favorite rod, line, and leader setup to effectively fish the nut job. How would you break that down?
So as far as streamer rods go, I would just go out on a limb and say, like, with that fly, you could fish it on your traditional 9'7" weight, 9'8" weight rods. But you're going to have a better time if you get a streamer specific rod, particularly the NRX Plus swim fly rod from G Loomis. I like the 7 and the 8. And then they also have the IMX Pro V2 streamer sticks, which are, I think, 8'10", also in a 7 and an 8 weight. So that's what I have on my boat. And I'm fishing all Titan taper lines. And then my leader build is basically carbon copy of like the Schultz Outfitters YouTube swim fly leader. I've been fishing that since the first time I fished with Mike, which was probably 2018. And does well for me. I'm usually around like 7 feet when I start. And then when I add more 16-pound tippet, it's kind of like wingspan length. So, around 6 feet, I will then add tippet back to 7 feet and then, go from there.
Got it. And just for folks that don't know, your preference for a streamer rod, I'm going to imagine that those rods are not tip soft like a traditional, like fast, 9'7" weight rod, right?
Yeah. I'm not very well versed in rod design, but it seems like the mass is carried up through the tip. So the rods are pretty stiff, and you can manipulate the flies really well through rod tip movements with rods such as the ones I mentioned that are designed for streamer fishing. Whereas your typical bonefish designed rods, and that's going to be, your flagship rods from every brand is going to be designed to cast a bonefish fly and a bonefish taper line. They're going to be a little softer in the tip and a little bit harder to manipulate the line with.
Yeah, because you're right, you lose some of that animation to basically tip flex, right?
Yeah. So that flex is absorbing what could be action in your fly.
Got it. And also, too, if I remember correctly, as a matter of fact, I think I saw it today, your nut job video with the Schultz Outfitter guys is now live on YouTube, right?
Yeah. Head over to the Schultz Outfitters page. A couple tweaks in there and updates from the ARX video that was posted a few months ago. The Schultz video was filmed in February and the ARX video was filmed in November. So got the new Senyo satin chenille from MFC in there, and the tungsten bead, which is just so much quicker than lead wraps. I don't care if it adds 30 seconds. I want to make fly tying as quick and painless as possible.
Well, there you go. That's your evolution from the fly tying symposium, right, to Bob and the Hood.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email me or DM me on social media, whatever's easiest for you. And if we use your question, I will send you some articulate fly swag. And we are drawing for some cool stuff from Brendan at the end of the season. And, Brendan, we ran a promotion last time for the prettiest nut job. And you were going to basically go through all of the social media posts and pick the winner. Who'd you pick?
Well, there were a lot of great flies, and I really appreciate everyone that participated. But our good buddy Jack Wynn is going to be getting a Ruch angling hat. I know he's already got a couple, but that fly that he entered in the contest is just too good to pass up.
Well, there you go. And before I let you go buy a real chimichanga for dinner tonight, you want to let folks know where they can find you so they can get on your boat?
Yeah. I am at Brendan Ruch on Instagram, Brendan Ruch and Ruch Angling on Facebook, and my email is ruchangling@gmail.com.
Well, there you go, folks. As I always say, you owe it to yourself to get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Brendan.
Take care, guys. Thank you, Marvin.